This is Plant-Based Briefing. Chicken or broiler, cow or steer, owner or guardian, liberating the language of animal abuse by Karen Davis of United Poultry Concerns at upc-online.org. And I'm your host, Marian Erickson. This is the Plant-Based Podcast where I curate, get permission, and narrate a variety of articles on plant-based and vegan living in about 10 minutes or less every weekday. I am honored to have permission to share content from United Poultry Concerns. They've been one of the contributors I've been reading from since the beginning of this podcast. And Karen Davis was the president and founder of United Poultry Concerns. I am so saddened to say that she passed away this past weekend, November 4th. The world has lost an amazing advocate and educator. The UPC press release said that Karen passed away peacefully on the morning of November 4th, 2023 at United Poultry Concerns Sanctuary, surrounded by her beloved birds. And UPC announced that they're pledging to continue her vision and legacy through the sanctuary and vegan advocacy. She was an icon. She was instrumental in my vegan journey. I learned to understand, to love, admire, appreciate the amazing birds she dedicated her life to educating people about. I am so honored to be able to share some of the work that she has produced. Sometimes her articles were so difficult for me to narrate because they were bringing me to tears and I'd have to stop recording and start again. Other times, they just filled me with joy as I read about the amazing social lives and individual personalities of these precious, innocent, defenseless birds who deserve to be protected and respected. If you'd like to listen to past episodes I've narrated from Karen's work, I'll list all those in the show notes. It's amazing for me to look through the compiled list of what I've narrated of her content. She has taught me so much, and we need to band together and continue to educate ourselves and advocate for these birds. So now let's get to today's plant-based briefing. Chicken or broiler, cow or steer, owner or guardian, liberating the language of animal abuse by Karen Davis, PhD, president of United Poultry Concerns at upc-online.org. Quote, cattle, sheep, swine, asses, mules, and goats, along with chickens, geese, and turkeys, all agreed enthusiastically to give their names back to the people to whom, as they put it, they belonged. Unquote. Ursula Le Guin from She Unnames Them in The New Yorker. Quote, please never ever call me a battery hen. A hen in a battery cage is not a battery hen. I, Minnie, am a proud descendant of the red jungle fowl, unquote. Claire Druce from Minnie's Dream. A problem for animal advocates is the terminology of animal usage. Speaking for animals involves negotiating a terrain of verbal conventions that devalue animals, starting with separating animals from humans. Farmed animal advocates, especially, are beset by the language of agribusiness. Animals are depersonalized, even de-animalized in farm speak as broilers, layers, livestock, cattle, steers, veal, swine, poultry, meat birds, and the like. Putting these terms in quotation marks is one way of signaling that this particular cow, for example, is more than just a quote-unquote dairy cow. At the same time, too many quotation marks add verbal clutter, so this problem, too, has to be solved. Recently, an animal advocate challenged another advocate for using the word cow for an animal who was probably a steer, a castrated bull in a feedlot. The issue was that cow normally denotes a female animal, whereas bull or steer designates a male, one who is either sexually intact or sexually altered. In my view, the word steer, though technically correct for a castrated bull, discourages empathy in people who are already emotionally detached from cattle, another term that is drained of subjectivity and feeling. We ended up agreeing that cow, being a kinder, warmer, more caring and relatable word than steer, is therefore appropriate for both genders. Even farmers sometimes use it that way. Regardless, the fact is that most people will never relate to an animal called a steer. If in certain circumstances we feel compelled to use the term broiler to distinguish chickens bred for meat, this term should never be used as a noun, but only as an adjective. Do not say broilers, say broiler chickens. Don't call hens used for egg productions layers or egg layers, but rather laying hens. Don't talk about raising veal or refer to a veal calf's prison as a veal crate. Instead, say veal calves and veal calf crates. Make the animals visible. As much as possible, simply say chickens, hens, cows, calves, and pigs, and always avoid terms like grass-fed beef, pasture-raised eggs and pasture-raised chicken. Only a live animal can be raised, not body parts and corpses. There's a big difference between pasture-raised chicken versus pasture-raised chickens. Likewise, a chicken leg is one thing, a chicken's leg is another. Agribusiness, owners or guardians. Responding to United Poultry Concerns campaign alert urging the National Fire Protection Association to require the owners of farmed animals to install smoke control systems in animal housing facilities, a reader sent me a friendly reminder that saying owners of these animals reaffirms the animal's status as property, not individuals with rights. Isn't guardian the right word to use? I would say yes in most cases, but not in this one. Given that victimization and violence are the essence of the relationship between agribusiness corporations and the animals they own, calling them guardians would be a mockery of the animals and a mockery of the word guardian in the sense of responsible caregiver for a dependent fellow creature or companion. Each time we speak or write as animal advocates in the public sphere, we must choose our words carefully in our effort to get people to care about and want to help the animals whose guardians we are, not only at the level of physical reality, but in the realm of rhetoric, the art of persuasive discourse. As Minnie cries out to her rescuer in Minnie's dream, linked here, being locked in a battery cage does not make her a battery hen. She is Minnie. You just listened to Chicken or Broiler, Cow or Steer, Owner or Guardian, Liberating the Language of Animal Abuse by Karen Davis, PhD of United Poultry Concerns at upc-online.org. And I'm your host, Marian Erickson. And as always, I learn so much from her in this post. There are many terms that I am aware of and I'm being careful to choose correctly. But I realized I think I say free-range eggs a lot. So I'm going to correct that now and say eggs from supposedly free-ranging chickens. And again, I am deeply, deeply saddened by the loss of Karen Davis on Saturday, November 4th. And I just ask that everyone, that we all continue to support United Poultry Concerns financially by sharing content, etc. And that we try to take up her cause and help fill that huge gap that she has left in advocating for chickens and turkeys and ducks and geese and other domesticated birds. Especially with Thanksgiving coming up shortly, I'll be reading another turkey article from her on the podcast next week. And let's just do whatever we can to help educate people that these are living, feeling, sentient beings who deserve to live their own lives and not be exploited. And they're not just a main course for the center of your table. Now, they can be a centerpiece on your table if you adopt a turkey, a rescued turkey for Thanksgiving, and have their photo with you at the dinner table. That's a beautiful way to bring awareness to and educate people about these wonderful birds. And Farm Sanctuary and Changing Hearts Farm and Piedmont Animal Rescue, I think also a lot of sanctuaries have sponsored or adopt a turkey programs for Thanksgiving. Please look into those and please share this episode with anyone who might benefit, and thanks for listening.